Watching KTSM 9 News, first at 4.
Good afternoon, Borderland. Thank you for tuning in to KTSM 9 Plus, your digital newscast. I'm Tirza Ortiz. Overnight, El Paso Fire responding to a large structure fire in Central El Paso. The call came in just before 10 p.m. at Yandel and Octavia. With about 60 firefighters responding, crews were able to knock down the blaze. A spokesperson for El Paso Fire said 2 structures were involved, with partial roof collapse on both. Both of those buildings were unoccupied. Residents in the area reacting to the incident, saying this isn't the first time a fire has happened in their neighborhood.
This house has burned down several times already. The homeless are going into the back of the house, so that's our concern as citizens, that houses are being abandoned and catching fire because homeless are going in there. So I'm calling on the city to demolish this house because it's happened several times already.
Some residents were temporarily displaced while crews worked to make sure conditions were safe. Luckily, no injuries were reported. Officials are investigating this incident as arson and will update you as soon as we learn more. Now to an update on KTSM 9 News that we first brought to you. 2 people are dead and 4 others are hurt after a crash near Clint that closed down I-10 for hours. As reported, the crash happened shortly before 10 a.m. Monday on I-10 East near Clint. The El Paso County Sheriff's Office says the driver of an SUV was traveling west, crossed the median into the eastbound lanes, and crashed head-on with another SUV. Deputies say 6 people were taken to the hospital. The driver, who reportedly crossed lanes, 78-year-old Timothy Head of Van Horn, and a passenger in the other SUV, 67-year-old Barbara Thacker of Vernon, Texas, both died from their injuries. And a woman is dead after a single vehicle crash in West El Paso that happened early Saturday morning. This happened on Silver Springs and Shadow Mountain. El Paso police say 25-year-old Missy Aguilar was driving an SUV and hit a curb, going over a business landscape before hitting a metal trash container and 2 rock walls. Aguilar died at the scene. 2 passengers were taken to the hospital. Police say speed is a main contributing factor to the crash. And El Paso police need your help finding the driver involved in a crash over the weekend that killed a 29-year-old motorcyclist in East El Paso. As KTSM reported, this happened Sunday night on I-10 in Yarborough. Investigators say Ricardo Dominguez was driving east on I-10 when a vehicle that was allegedly speeding tried to change lanes but hit Dominguez. He was rushed to a local hospital where he died. The driver of the other light-colored vehicle took off from the scene. Anyone with information on that vehicle is being urged to call Crime Stoppers to the number you see on your screen. All right, let's go ahead and move on to weather now. We're taking a break from our headlines to get a live look at our tower camera. And very similar, I feel like a broken record at this point. Beautiful morning. We have the clouds coming in. But overall, just very hot. But you know what, Robert? A little humid too out there. It is feeling a little bit more moisture in the air than we had the past few days.
You know, we're in the monsoon, and I think nature really wants to get going, with the thunder showers, but it's just a rough takeoff, if you will. 97 degrees at the airport right now. We've got a dew point of 48. So you mentioned the mugginess factor. Oh yeah, and unfortunately that mugginess factor is going to be with us again tomorrow. Now on the satellite radar composite, we have a very strong cluster of thunderstorms just south of the border with some isolated activity south and west of Juarez right now. We've had a few spotty isolated showers move through Las Cruces with a storm over Oregon or a little to the east of that. We'll keep that chance of a hit or miss thunder shower in tonight. When all of this breaks apart, of course, you know what we're going to get: gusty winds and possible dust. So tomorrow we're going to get another chance of hit or miss here or there thunder showers before we dry out and start to heat back up again, back into the triple digits for our 4th of July weekend. I'm going to have your detailed forecast coming up in just a little bit. Tirza.
All right, Robert, thank you. Let's go ahead and take a look at traffic now using our TxDOT traffic cameras. We're currently looking at I-10 and Paisano, and so far so good. The roads aren't looking too bad heading east or west. Doesn't look like we have too much congestion, really just the usual drive times that we see this time of day. Loop 375 and Alameda looks pretty good as well. Not really a whole lot of traffic out there, but overall looking pretty standard for this evening afternoon hour. President Trump says Congress must act after the Supreme Court ruled his efforts to restrict birthright citizenship were unconstitutional. The justices ruled 6-3 to uphold that the 14th Amendment provides citizenship to any person born in the U.S., regardless of their parents' citizenship status. This was one of the most closely watched cases of the term, and our Washington correspondent Raquel Martin is filing this report.
This case carried huge implications for the country's vast immigration population and was really a centerpiece of the president's re-election campaign, so much that back in April, he attended the oral arguments before the Supreme Court in person.
Excited, I was elated. We all jumped in the circle.
Melvin Vasquez, like many immigrant families, let out a huge sigh of relief Tuesday morning. The Supreme Court ruled President Trump's executive order denying birthright citizenship to babies born in the U.S. to undocumented parents unconstitutional.
For me and my family, I know that it's the right step forward, and for our community, this gives us that safe and security that we did need.
The relief extended to Capitol Hill.
If you are born in America, you are American.
Where Democrats celebrated the rare 6-3 decision from the conservative-leaning court. Republicans, meanwhile, expressed frustration. On Truth Social, President Trump called the decision striking down his 2025 executive order unfair and, quote, bad for our country.
Where people would just come and you just come onto the soil and have your child, and then they're able to avail themselves of the welfare state and everything else. It's been abused.
The majority opinion left little room for interpretation. Chief Justice John Roberts wrote, "Citizenship then and now was the right to have rights to freely participate in our political community. The framers of the 14th Amendment extended that promise to every freeborn person in this land." In his dissent, Justice Clarence Thomas wrote the ruling devalues the citizenship clause, adding he's not convinced the decision will stand the test of time. President Trump is now calling on Congress to pass legislation to restrict birthright citizenship in the U.S. Missouri Republican Senator Eric Schmidt, not wasting any time, is kickstarting that effort on Capitol Hill. We're now in Washington. Raquel Martin, back to you.
Congresswoman Veronica Escobar reacted to the decision, saying in part, quote, "The Supreme Court didn't just make the right decision, they made the only constitutional decision. Birthright citizenship has been fundamental to our nation's economy, culture, and identity for more than 150 years. Upholding this constitutional guarantee reaffirms a basic truth. In America, citizenship is determined by the Constitution, not by politics or ideology," end quote. Coming up, Americans are sounding off on how they think democracy has evolved over the past decade. We take a look at your thoughts on the poll in today's In the Comments segment. Also ahead, El Paso officials are reminding residents that once the sparklers and grills are out, their job as a good community member is only just beginning. How leaders are prioritizing a safe and clean holiday this weekend. Thanks for watching KTSM 9+, always putting local first.
KTSM 9 News and NBC News are your destination for America's 250th.
Part of our country's living history.
From American heroes to voices from home.
Right here in El Paso.
Join us as we celebrate America here on KTSM 9 News.
Rotary Club of West El Paso.
Welcome back. According to a new AP NORC poll, Americans have grown less proud of their country's history or the way its democracy works over the past decade. New Gallup polling also finds that only 53% of U.S. adults are, quote, extremely or very proud to be an American, the lowest reading in the trend dating back to 2001. The findings point to a broad decline in patriotic sentiment over a tumultuous period that included most of President Donald Trump's first term, the COVID-19 pandemic, and rising inflation that contributed to a backlash against President Joe Biden. That time frame also covers Trump's return to the White House, where he's taken more aggressive actions on immigration and issues abroad. We shared this story to our social media pages, and a lot of you had thoughts that you want to share with us. We'll start off with Del Hansen, who says, there is some truth to this. Many love this country, but what is going on right now does not instill pride. Meanwhile, Ruben Lucero says, that's funny. Mexicans who swear up and down that they're proud of Mexico don't want to live there, and Americans who say they're not proud of their country don't want to leave. And finally, Robert Alley says, you can be a proud American and disappointed in your government, have been for years now. Now, at the same time, most U.S. adults say that being an American is extremely or very important to their identity, highlighting an enduring connection, even as some become increasingly critical of the country's past or the government's current actions. Here at KTSM, we value your opinion, and we do want to hear more from you. Make sure you're following us on our social media platforms to keep in touch with us through the comments. Up next, a weapon of mass destruction. That's how the White House describes fentanyl. And now New Mexico state leaders want answers from the feds after large amounts of the drug flooded Albuquerque streets between 2023 and 2025. You're watching KTSM 9+.
Viva makes it happen.
9-Day Forecast, sponsored by Labonati Law Firm, specializing in semi-truck accidents. Your local weather authority, Robert Bettis, the Borderland's only certified broadcast meteorologist.
Oh, it's always a good day when the misery meter doesn't move. And so far, the misery meter has not moved today. 16 triple-digit days so far this year. 4 of those have been 105 or hotter. High temperatures, these are not official. I won't have the official high until a little bit later this afternoon at 6 o'clock. 97 so far today, 99 for Juarez, 95 Las Cruces and Tirza, 97 for Alamogordo. Satellite radar composite. Now yesterday, that line of instability was right over the Spaghetti Bowl, and we saw quite a few thunder showers, of course, over Hudspeth County, and the east side saw a few drops and gusty winds. Well, today that line has moved a little bit to the west, and now it's pretty much encompassing West El Paso. So we're going to keep a chance in of isolated hit or miss thunder showers until late this evening for pretty much the whole county. I'm watching some positive development to the southwest of El Paso right now. We've had a few spotty showers move through Las Cruces. Las Cruces, really, you don't have a chance of thunderstorms per se, but a few more drops will certainly be possible. And yes, you could tap into the gusty winds tonight. Most of the action has been right down here, right at the far southeastern tip of El Paso County, where we've had some pretty heavy rainfall at times. So we're going to keep that hit or miss chance of thunder showers in. If you don't get anything tonight, we get one more day of chance of storms before we cruise into our very hot and very dry holiday weekend. 95 degrees in Las Cruces right now. We've got winds coming in from the west, 13 miles per hour, dew point 37, so a little drier up in Las Cruces. Here are the temperatures in your neighborhood right now. Now, once again, that chance only lasts until about 9 o'clock tonight to 9:30, and then we're going to wrap it up. Now, are we going to see some gusty winds at times tonight? Could that stir up a little dust? Yeah, that's the monsoon. That's what those storms will do, even distant storms. Tomorrow, we'll get a lot of midday sun, high temperature 96 degrees, mugginess factor high, and we'll have that chance of hit or miss late day thunder showers. Here's your allergy forecast, low and then jumping up to moderately high. Low temperatures tonight, 71 Alamogordo, 65 Deming, and 76 for Juarez. Your high temperatures tomorrow. Well, pretty much near normal, 94 Alamogordo, 96 for Deming, 97 Juarez, 92 Van Horn. Tonight for you, Las Cruces, 68 degrees, your low temperature. Partly cloudy skies with a few little spotty showers possible early and then wrapping up. Tomorrow, 94 your high temperature. You'll get a chance of some isolated area thunder showers. 75 low temperature tonight at the airport. We'll keep that chance of thunder showers in. Hit or miss until about 9:30 tonight. And then tomorrow, 96 with a chance of late day storms. Now coming up, I'm going to have your exclusive 9-day forecast. We're drying out, heating up for the holiday weekend. Stay with KTSM.
dealers.
Welcome back. If you're planning to celebrate the 4th of July, officials want safety and cleanup to be a part of those plans. County leaders, along with the Sheriff's Office, are outlining their coordinated holiday operations, including traffic enforcement, public safety measures, and post-holiday cleanup efforts. Special attention will be focused on Montana Vista and Red Sands, where crews and volunteers will work to remove trash left behind after celebrations. Officials are also encouraging residents to properly dispose of waste and help keep public spaces clean throughout the holiday weekend.
We do recommend that you're very cautious when you're using fireworks. And of course, like the Commissioner Butler said, is, pick up all your trash and ensure that you are away from other people when you're popping your own fireworks.
The county wants to also highlight volunteer opportunities available for those who wish to participate in community cleanup efforts after the holiday. Airports around the country are getting ready for a busy 4th of July. The TSA says they expect to screen nearly 19 million travelers leading up to and after the holiday weekend. The busiest travel day is expected to be Thursday. The agency says it improves screening technology during the World Cup to get passengers through more quickly. Of course, this year's celebrations coincide with America's 250th anniversary, and it's forecasted to be one of the busiest 4th of July travel weeks ever. Cooking out with family and friends this holiday weekend will cost you more this year. New numbers from the American Farm Bureau shows that the cost for a 10-person cookout is up 4% from last year, with a total cost of $73.82. Officials say these costs have hit a record high. A representative from one of the most influential farm bureaus in the country says despite high prices, there are still always ways you can save this weekend.
Shoppers will have different experiences, and in a community where you have 2 or 3 different supermarkets, I would spend the time, thumb through the circular and see which market would have the lower cost items, especially the proteins.
So what about some of your favorite foods? Well, according to officials, the price of 2 pounds of ground beef increased 73 cents year over year, while chicken breast is up 27 cents. The Farm Bureau says the numbers closely reflect broader inflation trends. Well, don't go anywhere. We have another half hour of news and weather coming up after the break. You're watching KTSM 9+.
Hey, if you're liking what you're seeing so far, don't stop here.
That's right. Make sure you're following us on all of our social media platforms. That's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and so much more.
Breaking news, exclusive content, weather, and traffic updates.
And don't forget to download and stream exclusive shows right here on KTSM Plus, all for free.
From Studio 9 to small town spotlights and extended interviews.
Plus, all of your local news.
So follow,
stream,
and stay connected with KTSM 9.
At 6330 Montana.
Welcome back to KTSM 9+, your digital newscast. More than a year after the deadly mass shooting at Young Park that killed 3 teenagers and injured 15 others, the final defendant charged in the case is set to face trial. Jury selection begins tomorrow in Doña Ana County for Gustavo Dominguez, who was 17 years old at the time of the March 2025 shooting and is being tried as an adult. His trial comes after 3 co-defendants were each convicted of first-degree murder in separate trials earlier this year. Prosecutors say the group arrived at an unsanctioned car meet, armed and looking to confront one of the victims before the violence erupted. Our reporter Diana Castillo will be inside the courtroom tomorrow and will have complete coverage of the trial as it gets underway. Law enforcement in southern New Mexico are ramping up patrols near the Santa Teresa airport after a year of stray bullets striking aircraft and even homes. This new joint operation between the city of Central Park, Doña Ana County, and New Mexico State Police is targeting criminal trespassing and unlawful shooting in the desert. KTSM 9 News reporter Jesus Baltazar has been following the crackdown and explains what happens now that a grace period has expired.
For years, the desert terrain near the Santa Teresa airport has been a popular spot for casual target shooting. But recently, it has become a growing danger to the surrounding community.
We are grateful that no one has been injured, but we understand repeated incidents like this quickly go from recreational activity to a public safety issue.
In the weeks since the new initiative began, law enforcement has stuck to an educational phase, informing shooters that they will be enforcing trespassing laws, but from this point forward, it is strictly zero tolerance.
Now we're moving into the enforcement mechanism of this initiative.
Central Park Mayor Pro Tem Raul Tellez says rapid development in the region is part of what's forcing the change.
As we start evolving, cities start growing, the places that we used to enjoy in our younger days are probably going to be, encroached by homes, so we've got to evolve.
Just over a week ago, KTSM cameras caught people target shooting at a property right next to the spot they've used for years. But the says officers have the green light from multiple landowners to enforce trespassing laws throughout the area, and adds the penalties can pile up quickly.
If you've got something else that you're not supposed to have when you're being stopped while you're inside that private property, then you're subjected to that as well. So the only thing we ask the communities is, work with us. Don't work against it.
Authorities warn that violators now face citations, arrests, potential civil liability, and while many residents and Jetport patrons tell us they fully support Second Amendment rights, they also say responsible gun ownership and safety has to come first. Meanwhile, as New Mexico faces rising costs and higher gas prices, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham is proposing $250 tax rebates for residents. In a statement, the governor's office says she has spoken to legislative leaders about the idea, but also says she wants them to lead in terms of if or when a special session might take place before her term ends. House Republican leader Gail Armstrong weighed in, saying in part, quote, a $250 rebate is welcome, but families need permanent tax relief, not another one-time rebate. And Democrat Senator George Munoz saying rebates are not the answer to help New Mexicans.
We want to put real money in people's pockets and not just say, here's a rebate, have a nice day. Could spend it all in one day buying a TV, or you could fill your gas 1.5 times.
Senator Munoz says lawmakers are working to potentially come up with some long-term proposals during the interim session. After a bombshell report showed that feds allowed more than 1 million fentanyl pills to hit the streets in order to investigate drug operations, state leaders stand united in their outrage. It's a drug designated by the White House as a weapon of mass destruction. Now, New Mexico state leaders are calling on the feds to answer for allowing massive amounts of fentanyl to flood Albuquerque streets between 2023 and 2025. Bella Olaga has the latest.
State leaders gathered inside the office of the medical investigator today, calling the location a sobering reminder of what's at stake.
It is the most derelict, despicable act in my long career.
No investigation is worth one life. Now we know why the harder we work, the worse the problem gets.
Condemnation from state and Albuquerque leaders over a report from the Associated Press outlining a whistleblower's claims that the DEA allowed more than 1 million fentanyl pills onto Albuquerque metro streets in order to build cases against drug traffickers.
The strategy to hold illicit distributors and cartels accountable for poisoning Americans is critically important. But that accountability should never come at the sacrifice of the safety of more Americans or New Mexicans by allowing lethal pills to reach our streets.
The governor is seeking accountability from the federal government for practices she says have contributed to overdose deaths and put the public at risk.
Somebody must pay.
Democratic Speaker of the House, Javier Martinez, is pledging to work on the state legislative level to prevent operations like this in the state.
I don't care who it was, Biden, Trump, whoever. It is a systemic failure.
Albuquerque Public Safety Executive Director Raul Bujanda, who once served as FBI special agent in charge of Albuquerque, says the risks in these types of investigations should outweigh the possible reward of attacking bigger players.
Those investigations are done at all levels here in New Mexico, but the difference is that true law enforcement would make sure that they take the steps necessary to make sure we save lives.
And that was Bella Olage reporting. Devastating earthquakes have rocked Venezuela over the course of the last 5 days. People here in El Paso are now stepping up to help recovery efforts. Caracas Latin Food Restaurant has become a collection site for donations as El Pasoans rally to support those impacted. A member of the Camino Real Rotary Club in El Paso says the Venezuelan government was not prepared to respond to such a crisis, adding that agencies are struggling to locate thousands of people suspected of being stuck under fallen debris.
Oh, it is very dire. In Venezuela, a lot of the population live in buildings, apartments. The ones that have collapses, the ones that have been affected. Many people are telling us that family members are sleeping on the streets. Or the plazas, out because they're scared. And the government is totally unprepared for this type of crisis.
The restaurant has multiple volunteers helping with donations of clothes, shoes, toys, and more. All right, let's go ahead and switch our gears now to take another live look outside using our tower camera. Overall, looks like a beautiful day from our tower camera. We have some clouds in the sky, looking pretty blue out there, but when you head out, I think it's a completely different story. Robert, I love that word, muggy. I hate to feel it though, and that's exactly what we have out there.
Yes, we have something else going on tonight that may not be such a good thing if we want a rain chance. Let me show you the current conditions. Right now, 97 degrees at the International Airport. These southwesterly winds are kind of choking off the moisture supply. Now, this wind can change, especially as storms over Hudspeth County break apart. They could shift that moisture back our way. I'm going to keep the chance of isolated hit or miss thunder showers cropping up over El Paso County in the forecast for a while tonight, but I do need that wind to shift direction. What could do it? Well, these storms over Hudspeth County, they're quite strong, and when they break apart, they could shoot right into town right at the perfect time. So we'll keep a chance in until about 9 o'clock tonight. Not a great chance, no severe weather tomorrow. Isolated hit or miss thunderstorms possible as well, but by the time we get into Thursday and Friday, it's all about the heat for the July 4th weekend. I'm going to have your detailed forecast coming up in just a little bit. Tirza.
All right, Robert, looking forward to that. To our Austin newsroom, we are approaching the 1-year anniversary of the tragic Independence Day floods, which took the lives of 119 people in Kerr County, including 27 campers and counselors at Camp Mystic. A year later, Kerrville's fire chief said emergency leaders in the area have been working together to improve their response before, during, and after an emergency. One of the key aspects of preparation is communication, especially when so many people from out of town visit in the summer. The chief said the county is offering a service where people can sign up for mass notifications when they visit. The chief added that those who visit will also need to be as prepared as first responders.
If you go to any of these other places that are at risk, you need to prepare yourself. So what's your plan? So what's your plan for your family? I have a plan at my house for my family to evacuate if we have a fire. Where do they go? Same thing, you have to have those plans. Be vigilant.
The county also is working with 2 companies to clean out the debris from the river so it is safe for people to swim in. The city of Kerrville is hosting events on July 3rd and 4th to celebrate the country's 250th birthday and also remember and honor those who were lost in the catastrophic floods last year. Well, we move over to our border report. The Diocese of Brownsville responded to the ICE detention of a nun. Our Lady of Sorrows Church in McAllen posted online that one of their nuns, Sister Letty, had been detained while on her way to Mass. According to Congressman Henry Cuellar's office, Sister Letty, a Nigerian-born nun and registered nurse, was walking to Sunday Mass in her religious habit when ICE agents detained her. Sister Norma Pimentel says the incident has left many in the church concerned and hopes it doesn't come to a point where priests and nuns feel they must carry documents at all times.
To go after people who are really actually just living the gospel and trying to help in our community and doing the right thing. And so I think that that is completely wrong, and we must stand up for that and say that should not happen.
Why are you going to be picking up a sister who's dressed up on a Sunday morning, walking over to church? It just doesn't make sense. They ought to be focusing on criminals and not on sisters.
A spokesperson for the diocese, who is in Washington, D.C. this morning on an unrelated matter, tells our sister station in Brownsville that she was in touch with immigration officials and is working on a resolution to the matter. Well, coming up, a deadly hit and run over the weekend has left 1 person dead, and now police need your help in finding the suspect. We look at what you have to say about it during our In the Comments segment. Thanks for watching KTSM 9+, putting local first.
Scan to download KTSM Plus free.
Let's face it, most morning news shows, they're all the same.
Same weather, same headlines, same style. But it doesn't have to be.
Here at KTSM 9 News Today, we're doing things differently. You still get the news, the weather, and the traffic that you need to start your day. We're just doing it with a little more personality.
More local news, more laughs, more of what matters. We're serious when it counts, but mornings should be enjoyable too.
KTSM 9 News Today.
Not your typical morning show.
Weekday mornings from 5 to 7 a.m.
weekdays.
9-Day Forecast, sponsored by Labonati Law Firm, specializing in semi-truck accidents. Your local weather authority, Robert Bettis, the Borderland's only certified broadcast meteorologist.
Welcome back. Robert, what is better than watching a World Cup game?
Oh, watching Merlin the Duck.
Merlin the Duck is up there, but also watching one with a bunch of other soccer fans.
Oh, yes, in a large crowd.
Indeed. Well, the community is invited to Cleveland Square Park this week for 2 free watch parties outside the Mexican-American Cultural Center. So for tonight, it kicks off at 6:30 p.m. We're going to catch Mexico versus Ecuador. The fun continues tomorrow at 5:30 p.m., where we can also cheer on Team USA as it faces Bosnia and Herzegovina. You'll want to bring your lawn chairs, your blanket, snacks, and of course arrive early to get a good spot, but also potentially bring your water because it's going to be hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be hot and it's going to be muggy. So bring one of those little squirt bottles. You know,
yeah, for your neighbor. Just squirt it to everyone because you will be doing them a favor.
And if your team is losing, just keep squirting.
Yeah, and
take it out.
Even if they're winning, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just.
Okay. All right, sounds like fun. Wish it were cooler, but hey, it's summer. Let's take a look at the current conditions at the airport right now. We're 97 degrees. Dew point is at 48. I'm concerned about these southwesterly winds right now because if they prevail for much longer, they're going to choke off any chance of showers for tonight. Right now, the dew point is at 48. Winds are gusting to 29 miles per hour, and you can feel kind of that dryness and that westerly component of the wind. 95 up in Las Cruces right now, winds gusting to 28 miles per hour, and the dew point much lower there. Las Cruces, you had a few little isolated showers. You may very well be done for the night. On the satellite radar composite, now I'm going to keep that chance of isolated hit or miss thunderstorms in the forecast for El Paso County until about 9 o'clock tonight. Why? Well, when these clusters of storms over Hudspeth County break apart, they're going to shoot out that warm, moist air our way, and that could easily trigger an isolated cell in town. Now, is there a great rain chance tonight? No, there is not. Is this hit or miss stuff? Yes, it is. And any rain we get, would it be brief? Yes, it would be brief. But you can see what the storms could do right here just over the border from Hudspeth County. We've got some decent rain coming on down. Here are the temperatures in your neighborhood right now. Now, we're going to wrap up any chance of storms by about 9 to 9:30 tonight. Could we see some dust as these area storms break apart? Yes, unfortunately, that is exactly the case. And tomorrow, almost a duplicate pattern. We're going to get a lot of sunshine. We're going to get up to 96 degrees, full mugginess in effect. We'll have that chance of hit or miss area thunderstorms by late in the afternoon. Your allergy forecast, well, this is actually improving. We've got low for the next 3 days, so good. Here is your low temperature tonight for Las Cruces, going down to 68 degrees. You've already had some little spotty showers. I think you may be done for the night. 94 your high temperature tomorrow. We'll put in that chance of an isolated area thunderstorm in the area, as well as a chance of showers. 75 our low temperature tonight. We'll keep the chance in for a while. If we don't get a chance tonight of rain, well, we'll have another one tomorrow. But after tomorrow night, it's going to get dry and hot. Only KTSM gives you 9 full days of weather. On Thursday, partly cloudy skies, high temperature 99 degrees. I've limited it to a very slight chance. And then on Friday, partly cloudy and 100. Here we go. Saturday, 102 for the 4th of July, partly cloudy skies. We're going to be partly cloudy most of the day on Sunday with a chance of isolated late evening thunderstorms. 98 Monday, chance of storms, and Tuesday also with a high of 93 degrees. Tirza.
All right, Robert, shaping up for a very hot 4th of July. Well, El Paso police need your help finding the driver involved in a crash over the weekend that killed a 29-year-old motorcyclist in East El Paso. As KTSM reported, this happened Sunday night on I-10 in Yarborough. Investigators say Ricardo Dominguez was driving east on I-10 when a vehicle that was allegedly speeding tried to change lanes but hit Dominguez. He was rushed to a local hospital where he died. The driver of the other light-colored vehicle took off from the scene. We shared this story to our social media accounts, and many of you had thoughts that you want to share with us. We'll begin with Steve Cooper, who says, I thought about getting a motorcycle here, but you know, people barely pay attention or care about other cars, let alone motorcycles. Meanwhile, Mona Gonzalez says, my sincere condolences for his family. They need to find the person that caused this tragedy. And finally, Melanie Ramirez says, unfortunately, everyone is at risk when driving in El Paso. People speeding here is horrible. Anyone with information on the vehicle described is being urged to call Crime Stoppers to the number you see right there on your screen. And here at KTSM, we value your opinion and we do want to hear more from you. Make sure to follow us on our social media platforms to keep in touch with us through the comments. And don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break. You're watching KTSM 9+.
Más Las Cruces.
Greetings, I'm Shuli and
I'm Taryn.
We're with the Las Cruces Public Libraries. Join us for Summer Reading 2026. It's Unearth a Story. And guess what that means? Anything coming from the ground, like cool rocks or dinosaur bones. And it'll be through July 18th.
Join us for summer science fairs, movie marathons, dinosaur perler beads, and much more.
Just mark it in the Beanstack app every day for 7 days for all ages, and we have prizes for everybody. For more information on summer reading and unearthing our cool programs, check out our website and social media. Rawr!
Más Las Cruces.
as king of the grill. Last look at your exclusive 9-day forecast. Now tonight we have that chance of isolated hit or miss thunder showers. Not a great chance tonight, but we're going to watch and see what happens tomorrow. Also that chance of little isolated hit or miss storms. Then say goodbye to the rain chances completely as we cruise into our 4th of July weekend. Friday, partly cloudy skies at 100, 102 for the 4th of July, very hot. We'll see a chance of isolated late day storms on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday as well. Tirza.
All right, Robert, looking very hot and muggy, and that is just the monsoon for us.
That's what you're going to do.
Yep, it's what it's going to be, how it's going to be. All right, Robert, well, thank you, and thank you for tuning in. We're back tomorrow, but we have more news coming up at 5:30, so we'll see you then. Have a good night.
Hair and wardrobe provided by